Hi, how you doing friends? It's Jaso here. So, as some of you may know, I'm right now at this point with my Town Hall 9 that I have left only walls and heroes to upgrade to be completely maxed out Town Hall 9. And probably all of you know what a pain it is to max out each of your walls, especially when you're using only one army composition. That's why I thought it would be a good idea to share top 5 farming attack strategies that should definitely make farming for you guys more interesting and maybe even more rewarding, because I'm going to show the cheapest strategies, the fastest strategies and much more. Without further ado, let's get into the number 1 farming army composition. That's right, the first one is Barch, which stands for Barbarians and Archers. This is probably the most well-known and used farming strategies ever, and it is mainly because it's the cheapest to train, and as well as because these are the troops that will be unlocked first when upgrading your barracks. Another big advantage about Barch is that it doesn't require any Dark Elixir. As Town Hall 9 with level 6 Barbarians and Archers, the whole army costs 66,000 Elixir, while splitting them 50-50. And if you really want to split them half Barbarians and Archers, then this is the quickest way to train the whole army. It takes 20 minutes to train, and for the first 2 barracks you want to choose 27 Barbarians and 28 Archers. For the last 2 barracks you will have to choose 28 Barbarians and 27 Archers. This way it's the quickest to train the whole army, but for lazy people like me, the easiest way is simply filling 2 barracks full of Barbarians and another 2 barracks full of Archers. Now let's have a look how to attack with Barch. This awesome raid is done by my clanmate Bertie, who got some insane loot with that cheap army as its Barch. Firstly, you got to deploy a bunch of Barbarians and straight after almost same amount of Archers. If possible, deploy them using 2 or even 3 fingers, because it will increase the damage per second, which means that enemy defenses can't handle that big amount of troops at one time. You have to remember though that the Barch army is used to break down outer buildings and maybe even first layer of buildings behind the first wall, but most of the time you can't break into the center of the base with this army. Now, as we can see, Bertie has few of the Hog Riders inside his clan castle, which is probably the best troop to have with your Barch army, because they can easily smash down quite a few defenses if you want to break into inside of the base, like Bertie is using them to get the Dark Elixir storage, and which helps him to get extra 1200 Dark Elixir. In total, 1.2 million raid using only 66,000 Elixir. Let's get into the second farming strategy, which is basically a variation of the first army combination we talked about, and this one is called Gibarch, which stands for Giants, Barbarians and Archers. The main difference is that with this army you can quite easily break into the center of the base, where most of the players keep their storages at. So, if Barch was mainly used for collector raids, then Gibarch with nice planning can be used to take down center of the base as well as some of the outer collectors. But in order to break into the core of the base, we need to add some of the wall breakers to our army to prevent giants getting stuck behind the walls. And now let's see what's the fastest way to train your Gibarch army. In each of your barracks you will have to train 10 barbarians, 10 archers, 5 giants and 5 wall breakers, which will give you in total 40 barbarians, 40 archers, 20 giants and 20 wall breakers. This combination is what I like to use, and you can definitely switch some of the troops around if you wish. As we have the whole army ready, it costs exactly 144,000 elixir, which is double as expensive as usual Barch army. But as mentioned before, it has advantage to break into the core of the base, what Barch army most of the time can't do. So let's have a look at one of my raids with Gibarch army. First of all, always make sure to check if there are any troops inside the enemy's clan castle. As there wasn't any troops, I started deploying my giants and straight after using some of my wall breakers to let giants inside of those 2 compartments. Another important thing is to take few heal spells with you if possible, so that you can keep majority of your giants alive. Now, when giants destroyed those splash damage defenses, I deploy most of my barbarians and archers, so they can start cleaning up those buildings. As soon as center defenses are taken down by giants, deploy the rest of your barbarians and archers, so that they will move straight forward to the center storages. Right here you can see why I'm carrying so many wall breakers with me, because there are lots of those box type of base designs around here, and with help of the wall breakers I managed to take down almost the entire base. As the last troops are going down, we're gonna get straight into farming attack strategy number 3, which is definitely one of my favorite, called BAM, which stands for Barbarians, Archers and Minions. Now this is the fastest army you can possibly train, because all of the 4 barracks alongside with 2 dark barracks are being used. What you will need to do is simply fill up 2 barracks with barbarians and 2 barracks with archers, and the dark barracks full of minions. So even when you're raiding, the army camps are refilling with troops. As I mentioned before, it's the fastest army to train. Yes, it takes only 13 minutes and 45 seconds to train the whole army, which costs 42,800 elixir, plus 360 dark elixir, which is extremely cheap. So let's see how to attack with this army. First of all, I tried cleaning up some of the buildings that weren't in the radius of defenses, and when that was done, I started destroying those groups of collectors by deploying barbarians as the units that will take the damage from defenses and quickly backing them up with archers. Now, when the outer buildings are cleaned up, it's the best time to use some of the minions to take out the collectors that are behind the first layer of walls. The same process I'm gonna be doing over also to the rest of the collectors that are left. Again, using one of the cheapest armies in the game, I was able to gain so much profit, as it's 600,000 each, a little bit of dark elixir. Next up we have the 4th farming attack strategy, that is nice old school giant healer. This is probably one of the most expensive armies to train out of all the top 5 strategies, but it has its own advantages. In the first 2 barracks you want to train 10 barbarians, 11 archers, 4 wall breakers and 1 healer. And the last 2 barracks should be filled with 10 barbarians, 9 archers, 8 giants and 4 wall breakers. Of course you can use your own way of training these troops ready, but that was the quickest one, which takes about 31 minutes to train, and the total cost of this army is exactly 140,000 elixir. So let's have a look at how to use this strategy in action. Since I wanted to attack from the town hall side, I needed to get rid of the enemy king first, because otherwise the king would have knocked down quite a few of my giants, and as soon as enemy king was down, I deployed all my giants. Why I wanted to attack from the town hall side is because 2 air defenses out of 4 were basically at the same place, and I was able to smash those air defenses down pretty quickly, which made it possible to deploy my first healer. As the defenses were going down, I started deploying my barbarians and archers to clean up the rest of the buildings. Another important thing to have with your giant healer army is heal spell, because it happens quite often that the giants get to the radius of an air defense and the healer is being taken down, and at this point you will need to keep giants alive with heal spells, as seen right now in the replay. As soon as I saw safe opportunity, I deployed my second healer. As I told earlier in this video that Barch and Pam are more to destroy only outer buildings, then giant healer army composition is especially phenomenal because it can break down the whole base when using healers and heal spells at the right time. What else I know about this strategy is that many people use it to farm dark elixir, since none of the troops of this army doesn't take any dark elixir, as well as it can quite easily break into the center of the base where dark elixir storage is usually located in. Unfortunately, in this attack I wasn't able to get all the loot because I ran out of the time, but I still managed to get majority of it. Now it's time for the last number 5 farming attack strategy, which is more of my personal favorite army to farm dark elixir for my heroes, and this strategy includes 60 balloons, 40 barbarians, 40 archers, 20 goblins and 20 wall breakers. I have no idea how to core shortened version of this army, so maybe if you guys have any good ideas, let me know in the comments and I will make sure to pick out one of your suggestions. So, the quickest way to train this army is filling up each of the barracks with 10 barbarians, 10 archers, 5 goblins, 5 wall breakers and 4 balloons. I have to mention though that this army isn't the fastest one to train and also not the cheapest, but it's definitely the one I had most fun smashing down the bases to get the dark elixir to level up my heroes. Let's have a look at one of my attacks using this strategy. First up, I noticed that the upper group of defenses can be taken down with balloons quite easily, without getting to the radius of air defenses. I dropped 3 balloons to target upper left archer tower, and 3 balloons from the cannon side, as well as I dropped 1 heal spell to keep them all alive, and as soon as they were about to get to the radius of air defenses, I deployed the rest of my balloons from the sides to help to smash down those middle defenses. And yes, the best way to deploy your balloons is by little groups. Another thing to remember is to take few rage spells with you instead of all heal spells, as I had trained up by mistake. Now, when majority of defenses are destroyed, it's time to use some of the barbarians to start cleaning up the rest of the buildings. Even though all the balloons were killed, I had decent amount of barbarians, archers and the king left to take care of the last remaining defenses. So as mentioned before, it's not the fastest army to train, neither the cheapest. But with proper balloon deployment and the help of barbarians, archers and goblins, you can take down the entire bases and gain some insane loot. This is it for the top 5 farming attack strategies, and I tried my best to share some great variety of farming compositions with some advice how to use them. If you learned something new from this video, then a like would be highly appreciated. See you later, friends.